In a world full of noise, two voices rise above the chaos. Ron and Brian. They speak truth. They stir thought. They accidentally help. News, nonsense, and necessary self-care. Join the cult of Ron and Brian. Because the work is so important.
That is correct. The work is so very important. And we're about to put the work in on episode 379 of the Cult of Ron and Brian podcast. We've got Brian here with us. Brian, how the hell are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ron. There's nothing that I enjoy more than an NFL game that has a manufactured, exciting last 2 minutes, resulting in me losing a parlay that I piggybacked on after you made your selections. Nothing I enjoy it more. I'm coming into this game hot.
Coming hot. So this is Janelle is asking why we're so small. Genetics. I mean, it hurts to hear you say that. So it looks like StreamYard updated their signal here, and
I'm on YouTube right now. I don't see us being any different.
But you're on YouTube on a laptop. I'm assuming this little icon next to Janelle's comment and Billy's comment means that they're on a cell phone or a tablet.
Well, this is an iPad. This is an iPad.
They're getting the vertical. They're getting the vertical feed.
It's called an iPad, Ron. Okay, thanks to the kind people over at Apple for providing it to us.
So
Ron, where is your?
We are testing.
Is your internet bad again?
This thing that StreamYard has added, where you can have a horizontal or a vertical depending on your device. But yeah, I'm not loving the vertical now that I'm seeing it on the side screen here.
We're too close. I hate to say it, we're just too close. This is all right. Like for us to be good on the vertical, I think I've got to be about here. At which point, if we're looking on the horizontal, I'm so small. And as Janelle said, why am I so small?
So we'll have to. We're testing it out this week. I already don't like it, so we'll have to.
She's watching on her TV
next week.
That's interesting. She's watching on her TV. I'm on a tablet. Where in the YouTube app looks fine to me, unaffected.
As long as Brian isn't affected, folks, he could care less about anybody else. That is why he was a weak champion. That's why I am a better champion and shall remain a champion after this February, after this Super Bowl.
Ron, you don't deserve another term as our champion. I have no problem with listing all the different ways.
Look at this beautiful title belt that Brian will never know the touch of.
Utterly ludicrous.
All right, well, let's hop into things, Brian. Let's get things going with, as usual, our drink of the week.
Na zdrowie.
Salud.
Drink of the week.
Pleasure.
Drink of the week.
Brian, what are you drinking this week?
I made myself, just because it's still fall, and this weekend really the weather was quite nipply. I made myself some warmed apple cider, which I have placed some Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey inside of.
Nice. Yeah, this vertical sucks. Like, I have no idea why StreamYard thought this was a good thing.
I did not get the proportions right. Oh boy.
Is it a bit strong?
Delicious. What a delicious combination, Ron. Just an utterly, like, the way the smoky whiskey just blends in with that sweet apple cider. Oh my God, it is so good, Ron. I am so
looks
glad
like you're really enjoying yourself.
I am enjoying. For those people who are listening on audio format, you need to trust me on this. This is one of the best drinks I've ever had. The apple cider Just a perfect combination.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron, what are you
Yeah.
drinking this week? What do you
So
got?
this
What are you
week,
drinking?
Brian, I went local as I often like to do. Went down to the good folks at Attic Brewing last night. They are in the Germantown section of Philadelphia, and picked up a 4-pack of their G-Town Strutter. This is their
Whoa.
German Pilsner. This is it's a 5.4 ABV. It's got the traditional clear Pilsner body. I was drinking their cream ale last night, their Filato, which was very tasty. So I have high hopes for the G-Town Strutter. Yes, Filato with a PH, Filato.
It sounds like what 47 was doing to 42, if you ask me.
Many fellatio jokes were made, but this tonight,
Good.
this is G-Town Strutter, German Pilsner.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what he says.
It's okay. It's a little, for a Pilsner, it's a little more bitter than I like. I will say that.
Okay. That's it.
Good,
That's all you're giving us.
Good mouthful, good mouth feel. Sorry, that was another 47. Had a good mouth fill of 42. We're gonna be making Trump Bubba jokes all night, just so everyone's aware right up front.
Maybe I did get the proportions correct because it's 6 minutes into the show and I'm flying. Ron, walk me through this. What are you at? Like, is this what you were expecting? Did you want a different type of drink? Will you be having a second one?
I don't know if I'll be having a second one. I mean, it's good. It's crisp. Again, it's got a little bit more bitterness than I usually like.
That's okay. Well, then, so this is a one and done.
For tonight, it's a one and done. Listen, I got to work tomorrow. I don't know how you drink heavily on a Sunday and are productive at work the next day. Maybe you're not productive. I don't know. I don't work with you.
First off, hold on a second. Hold on a second right now, Ron. I'm going to need you, Matt. If you take this out in post, I don't want that accusation going out. It's very possible I have coworkers watching this right now. I don't need for them to be putting my performance on a Monday morning under scrutiny because they believe that I may have over indulged in our drink of the week ritual.
So don't. So if any of Brian's coworkers are listening or watching, don't judge Brian in the morning, but do ask him to show him your title belt, which he will not be able to do. You're catching again strays here today. I'm feeling salty. I don't know why it is. You know what it is? It's that fucking Chiefs loss that cost us money because that was the third leg of our parlay. And the
Chiefs were predetermined to lose. You made the bad pick, and notice this: there was going to be a winner and there was going to be a loser. You picked
you're genius,
wrong
Brian.
team.
Really? There's going to be a winner and a loser?
Really?
What?
I said I liked the Broncos this week. I like the Broncos this week. I told you I liked them. You're like, oh no, Chiefs money line. They're on the road. There's no way that they can't win. Back-to-back Super Bowls.
We'll get to our locks of the week in a little bit. But in the meantime, you know what it's time for. It's time for Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
One thing not bothering me is my lady just refilled this glass so we can get the proportions a little bit more in line.
Good people.
Okay.
We like her.
Here, this is what's bothering me. I have a legit beef, and I need you to go along with me on this. Go along for the ride. I may go on to a tangent or two, but ultimately I will bring this back home. Ron, my beef of the week are the fine people at Liberty Bagels in Lower Manhattan.
Really?
One of the most popular bagel spots in all of New York City. Tourists flock to it. It is diagonally across the street from the Bull down in the financial district. They love it. They go there for the famous rainbow bagel. Ron, have you had yourself a rainbow bagel?
I have not had them. I've seen them. No, wait. Ron, I stand corrected. The wife did buy a rainbow bagel. I don't know that it was from Liberty. There was someplace else in the city that was doing them.
Well, they are the originator of the rainbow bagel. Ron, it tastes like a regular bagel. It's just they just put food dye in to make it look like, and then they just kind of layer the things in. And anyway, not the point. The point is the fact that my lady, my queen, if you would, she has an affinity for Liberty Bagels. She likes it. She says, I enjoy a Liberty Bagel Saturday morning when I wake up with my morning coffee. And what do I do? As a good husband, as a good
doting husband
partner,
who wants to make sure, as a husband who does the work.
The
work is so important.
So there's this little ritual that we have, which is, well, technically I have it.
Where she begs you? Oh, sorry, we're still on the bagel. Sorry, my bad.
Sorry. So what happens is every Friday afternoon, again, coworkers we'll edit this out. At late afternoon, I sneak out of the office at around like 4 o'clock or so, run down the street over to Liberty Bagels, get a handful of bagels for the weekend. So we get a couple, put a couple off to the side for Saturday, put a couple in the freezer in case we want something on Sunday. But I always buy myself a couple bagels. So the thing that initially threw the staff for a loop was the fact that they couldn't understand I wasn't asking for some type of bagel sandwich. They were like, well, so I would show up. I'd be like, can I get four plain bagels? The lady likes them plain, which means I like them plain. So, because the one time I got onion, she was like, oh, the plain smells like onion. And I was like, okay, no more onion for Brian. So we got, so I get plain bagels. So I was like, yeah, can I get 4 plain bagels? They're like, oh, well, like, what do you want on them? I'm like, I don't want anything. Like, oh, do you want
to do anything to them? Don't slice them. Don't toast them. Just put them in a bag. Let me go on my way.
Bagel. Okay. Now, one thing I noticed the first couple times we did this was that she was always taking the lighter colored bagel. Right. So, and I was like, what do you not like this shade of bagel? You like that one? And she was just like, oh, she likes them on the light side, less crunchy, less hard.
Right. She wants a more chewy bite than a crunchy bite.
So because I am a good partner, I support my woman, I support my queen. What do? The next Friday, go to Liberty Bagel and I say to them, can I get 4 light plain bagels?
See, now I think you've already confused them right off the bat. Because now I think you're asking for like a lower calorie bagel, maybe a gluten-free bagel, something along those lines. Like you're asking for a specialty bagel, not our regular plain bagel.
Correct. You could see the first time, probably the second time as well, the kid was totally confused. So I explained it to him. I was just like, lady likes them slightly undercooked. If I could just get like the least, the 4 that are light colored, less cooked. Oh, okay, I understand. First couple of times, I'm sure they didn't even do it. They just gave me 4 regular. Anyway, to make a long story short, because I don't want to take up this full hour talking about bagels, even though I could, as a Jew from New York, I could do a lot about bagels. Anywho, so this past Friday, I went there. I asked for 4 plain bagels, light. I get my bagels, I pick them up at the counter, I walk them home, I sit there, I put them on the counter, I say to the lady, bagels for the weekend. She's like, oh, great. Opens them. They're individually wrapped for the first time ever.
It's a bad sign.
Never been wrapped before. You see this? You see where I'm going with this? That fucking moron. And he was a moron because he heard light bagel and assumed I wanted a light toast. Sorry.
Oh, see, I was thinking he might have scooped out the bagel.
No.
It's a lighter. No. But he thought you wanted them lightly toasted. So now you've got pre-toasted bagels, which aren't going to last the whole weekend.
Thank you. He fucked up the whole weekend bagels. Just fucked them all up. Saturday morning, it was already dry. It wasn't good. Oh, I was so angry. So my beef for the week is the guy at Liberty Bagel, not Liberty Bagels, just the guy behind the counter at Liberty Bagels who put in the wrong order. And don't get me wrong, and I already see the comments. I need to take responsibility. I didn't look at the bag as I was walking out. I didn't look to make sure. They had been on a months-long run of delivering me exactly what I wanted. I didn't think I had to.
Can I
So
give you a little
therefore,
suggestion just for the future?
please, because obviously I need it this Friday.
Should this happen to you again, if you get that bagel and it's lightly toasted and it's a little stale the next day, wet a paper towel lightly, wrap the bagel in the paper towel, pop it in the microwave for 20 seconds.
Okay. Oh, because
Not going to bring it
it'll
back to
absorb the
life.
water.
It'll be better. It'll be better. Also, speaking of bagels, and we're going off on another tangent here. Are you familiar with Utopia Bagels in
Of course.
Manhattan? Did you see
Queens? They're in Queens.
Did you see their limited edition collaboration with Golden Steer?
No. What?
So apparently they are
From Vegas, Golden Steer?
They've teamed up with Golden Steer. Apparently there's a Golden Steer in New York City now, which I didn't know if you were aware or not.
We did in the West Village. Remember, I about a year ago I sent you a link to that. I didn't realize it was open yet.
So they have done, I don't know if the Golden Steer is open, but they did a collaboration with Utopia Bagels where they have a French onion bagel based off of the French onion soup from Golden Steer.
Oh, you're right.
So it's
They
like a
are
French
in
onion
Midtown now.
bagel, and it's a French onion cream cheese. Don't know how light the outside is. You might have to go and see that for yourself and have conversations with their team. But something you may want to check out because you're a bagel connoisseur. You are the senior bagel correspondent.
Listen, this knows bagels.
All right. Well, I think it's an appropriate beef, Brian. The customer is always right.
Sure. Oh, hold on a second. I just out of curiosity, I logged in and out of the YouTube app on my iPad, and look at this nonsense.
Yes. This whatever this vertical shit that StreamYard has created is god awful. Like I can't imagine.
This is unacceptable.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fix that.
Click the different link. I clicked a different link and I got this. So it is possible, people. You just got to go into the profile of the podcast. That's what you got to do.
People shouldn't have to do that kind of work, Brian. While the work is so important, people shouldn't have to work that hard to see the best podcast in the United States.
I love you, Ron.
Love you too, my friend. Would you like my beef, Brian?
Ron, we're 17 minutes into the podcast. I think it's time for us to kind of move on. We kind of been spending a lot of time on beef of the week.
Well, too bad, because I need to give my beef of the week. And my beef of the week this week is when I need to apologize for a previous beef of the week. Call it a correction. Call it a note that was sent in. A few weeks back, my beef of the week was with DoorDash. Where a DoorDasher had alleged that she was sexually assaulted by a customer, and DoorDash deactivated her account and wouldn't give her a reason and all of this, and people were dropping DoorDash. They were shutting down their DoorDash accounts. Well, here's a twist to that story. This past week, the woman whose name is Livy Rose Henderson, she was arrested this past week on 2 felony charges based on this situation. So as it turns out, so the story she said was she went to deliver this guy's food and she ended up seeing him on the couch and he had no pants on and he was exposed and she thought she did that deliberately. So as the story soon unraveled is he had placed a DoorDash order. Said, leave the food at the door, and then I guess proceeded to pass out drunk on his couch with his pants down, which, listen, if we had a nickel every time that happened, we'd have at least 27 nickels.
Yep, I've done that. I've woken up tonight wondering why I had a tissue on my stomach.
So apparently, Livy gets to his house, sees that the door is cracked open slightly. So rather than just leave the DoorDash order at the door as was instructed, she pushes the door open, sees him bottomless, passed out on his couch, and then takes her phone out and then records him pantless on his couch. So.
But she also makes makes another video about how she was sexually assaulted by this.
Correct. So she posted it on TikTok, but footage from the Ring camera at this gentleman's house shows that he never invited her inside. Police detectives later determined that he did not intentionally expose himself, nor was there any evidence of sexual assault. So earlier last week, she was arrested on 2 Class E felonies, unlawful surveillance, as well as the dissemination of unlawful surveillance images.
Yeah.
Each of the charges has the potential penalty of up to 4 years in prison. Police says she illegally entered the dwelling, and the company has confirmed that the woman's account was deactivated for breaking safety protocols. The customer was also banned from DoorDash. However, police indicated that he will not be charged. So
he's not. So they dropped the charges.
I'm not saying DoorDash isn't a horrible company, but they're just not a horrible company for the particular reason that I mentioned my beef of the week a few weeks ago.
Can you apologize again for me? I would like to hear it.
I think you want an audio clip that you can pull out of this episode and use at some point in the future.
But I would just like to hear you say the words, "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry. Right, that was
Can you
around
say it a little bit more in your
20 seconds.
Can you say that more in your natural voice?
I cannot.
Would that be possible?
We're gonna move on. As you mentioned, we've spent a lot of time on beef of the week so far. So let's move on to our stories of the week. As the folks out there all know, these are the stories that we grab. We want to make sure we don't miss. Brian, what is your story of the week this week?
This week's story is a little personal to me. It's something that, you know me, Ron, I'm not a big fan of politicians. I believe politicians are some of the most evil people on this planet. They will shake your hand while smiling, while at the exact same time using their other hand to sneak into your wallet and take your money. Truly, I think so low of anybody that decides to become a politician. However, here this week, I found a politician who I believe is telling the truth and deserves our empathy. Maybe not sympathy, empathy. Ron, do you have a photo of his Democratic representative in Congress, Brad Sherman? He is from California. Do you have a photo of him? Here is a photo of Representative Sherman recently on a plane. This looks like a photo that was taken by the passenger sitting next to him. At first glance, there's nothing wrong with this photo. There's no reason for us to be concerned. Yet somehow the New York Post this first week decided that Representative Sherman needed to be shamed.
And why? Why did he need to be shamed?
Why are they coming after him? Because Representative Sherman was forced to speak out this past week after a fellow passenger snapped photos of the California congressman. The photo showed him ogling salacious images at full brightness of women wearing nothing but bras and underwears. The shocking photographs were first shared by a user on Twitter, which accused Sherman of looking at porn on his iPad during a flight. The tweet, I'll still call it a tweet, fuck that. The tweet racked up more than 13.7 million views in 24 hours. However, Representative Sherman has a full defense, which I can understand. In his statement released this past Saturday, he pointed the frisky finger at Elon Musk, accusing the billionaire owner of Twitter of flooding Sherman's feed with steamy snaps. That, quote unquote, this has nothing more than just scrolling through Twitter. And unfortunately, Elon has ruined the Twitter algorithm to give people content that they don't ask for or subscribe to, the lawmaker said. The Los Angeles native, who introduced an article of impeachment against President Trump in 2017, told Punch Bowl News that the risque shots popped up on his For You feed, an algorithm-driven stream of recommended content on the social media platform as he cruised through his cross-country flight. He denied looking at porn and or having any issues with pornography. He says, if you have to fly across the country, you're going to look at stuff on your tablet. I must have looked at over 1,000 posts. If I see a picture of a woman, I might look at it longer than a sunset. Yeah, but it's not what I was looking at. And as somebody who does take public transportation, I'm going to say that the algorithms of the social media applications that we have on our phones and tablets, whatnot, they are trying to force upon you content that you have no interest in. And it can be very embarrassing when you are sitting there, you are minding your own business, you're looking at your Instagram feed or your TikTok feed, and suddenly you get hit with what seems to be every third or fourth post being some type of advertisement telling me where I can meet trans women in my local area. Now, this is not something I asked for. This is not something that I'm interested in, but it is just seems to be constantly like, how do I want to go out and find trans women? This is not something I'm interested in. Yet I have also, too, fallen victim to this social media frenzy.
Now, do you think a better argument for him to make would have been that he has a friend similar to yourself who likes to pervert the algorithms of his other friends by completely forwarding things that he hopes will pervert said person's For You page?
I don't even understand how that could happen.
I'm just spitballing here. That's all.
No, are you trying to imply that if somebody were to forward me a bunch of different things on a certain topic, that it would then show up in that person's algorithm on their own without me having to forward
I'm just
that
saying,
type of
were
content?
you to forward like a lot of amputee videos, breastfeeding videos, Asian women in lingerie sets cooking, that will, I think, over time really adjust what that individual sees on their For You page.
You know, it's an interesting scientific experiment, Ron. Maybe I say you and I this week, I say we take on that scientific experiment, send each other things, and just see if that stuff starts to pop up.
I mean, that is why I think both of our For You pages are now all about Trump being a throat goat.
Throat goat, 100%. Absolutely. The number of Tom Hanks running down a street screaming, "I've got to get Bubba. I've got to find Bubba." Well, the text on top saying, like Trump as soon as he first enters the White House. And I'll be honest with you, I completely have not really gotten a grasp of the most recent Epstein document drop. Apparently, there is a reference there to Donald Trump performing Flato. Is that your name of your beer?
Filato.
Filato. Donald Trump performing Filato on Bill Clinton when he was president.
Well, to be fair, in the email it refers to Bubba. It says Trump, blowing Bubba, basically. Which many people also pointed out that Ghislaine Maxwell has a horse named Bubba. So who knows? This could go in a lot of different directions.
That's even worse.
Well, before we get too off tangent, I wanted to get my story of the week in here, where a North Carolina woman is going to have to pay $1.75 million after a jury found her liable for destroying a Durham couple's marriage. The lawsuit filed in Durham County Court accused Renee Kennard, an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok and 274,000 followers on Instagram, of seducing and having an affair with her manager, Tim Montague. Tim Montague's ex-wife, Akira Montague, sued and won the case. They found Kennard liable for criminal conversation and alienation of affection. Now, this is a law in North Carolina that allows a spouse to sue the person they blame for an affair that ends a marriage. It's one of the few states in the country that allows this. Akira brought the suit to civil court and claimed that the affair caused her mental anguish, damage to her health, and deprived her children of a two-parent household. Robinetta Jones, Akira's attorney, said, quote, she has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children. Kennard slammed the verdict, saying Akira knew her marriage was over and allowed the affair. So we'll see how that. I'm sure this will be appealed, as always. But thoughts on this woman having to pay almost $2 million for having an affair?
Listen, I think that this is once again just the legal system in America falling victim to the wrong side, not to be falling to justice, but to be falling into the trap of legalese.
All right, interesting. This week, Brian, history made here in Philadelphia as the last ever penny was printed this past week. Apparently, the Treasury Department has decided to retire the penny. It has for a very long time cost more than a penny to produce a penny. It cost almost 4 cents to make each penny. So they're gonna cut that out. They're not going to take them out of circulation. They will just, I guess, just let it ride until there's really not that many pennies in circulation, and then stores will have to round up or round down for cash payments.
Much like your championship, this will be sunsetted in time. We will allow it to fade out with dignity rather than embarrass and just remove it from society as a greater whole. Yeah, I mean it seems ludicrous that we have a form of money that actually costs more than the actual value, the street value. Putting it in terms you'll recognize a little bit more, Ron. And at the same time, if anybody does not see that this is once again going to be an inflationary tactic used to just round everything up to a nickel. If there's any store out there that is actually going to be rounding down, like I've already seen signs from places saying we're no longer taking pennies. And if your total comes out to 1 or 2 cents, we will round down to 0. If it comes out to 3 or 4 cents, we'll round up to a nickel.
Sure.
But we're no longer accepting pennies, and we're not going to be giving them out as change. If under any circumstances you don't think that they're going to raise the price of everything 2 cents while calculating totals just so they can round it up to the nickel, there's absolutely no way that retail stores in New York are not going to be doing this. Round everything up eventually.
Right. And doesn't that impact the sales tax as well? Like if you're rounding up, you're rounding up a portion of the purchase price, but you're also rounding up a portion of the sales tax as well.
Ron, you ignorant slut. That's why we pay cash in New York City. We don't pay sales tax. We don't, everything on the arm for a wise guy. We pay in cash. They don't charge us tax on it. Everybody's happy. Except
and they are also
that
now,
socialist communist mayor Mamdani, who's going to ruin this entire city. Ron, you're choppy again, according to
that's what she
JoJo.
said.
Yeah. Also, not only that, but Lowered Panhandle EB says cheap viewers Streambo remove the space at View. Oh, shut up, dude. What a bot.
I will say we've had, as I assume most of you have had in the Northeast, tremendous winds today, which has really been screwing with our Wi-Fi and internet signal.
Is that why you are wearing a hat? Because the wind rustled your perfectly
Also, this is one
hair.
of my hats I got over in London for when we were there for your wedding. What do you think? Yeah.
Oh, cheerio, buddy.
Went up to Notting Hill, bought myself a hat.
I like it. Tremendous. I don't know if she capitalized men. I guess she's saying that we as men are tremendous.
Back to the pennies real quick, Brian. They're saying, coin experts are saying that the last pennies minted this past Wednesday in Philadelphia could sell for as much as $5 million each when they hit the auction block in December. So the final 5 pennies that were ever minted have a special omega symbol marking their special status. And those 5 will not go into regular circulation. They instead will be auctioned off. There was a gentleman who runs the Professional Numismatists Guild, which is a rare coin expert organization, put the value between $2 million and $5 million per coin.
And how is Donald Trump collecting that money personally? Like, I understand him being like, well, I decided to get rid of the penny, so like that money should be mine.
Well, Brian, all auction proceeds will fund mint operations, with any excess going to the U.S. Treasury. So we'll see how that plays out.
I don't believe that.
So they
No.
produce. So the mint produced 232. Excuse me. They produced 232 Omega stamped pennies for the auction, one for each year the penny existed. So they're saying the final 5 will get the most. The other 227 will get varying amounts. And they also struck 235 gold pennies. Love
the gold. Gold looks great. Gold looks huge. Love the gold penny.
And this move will save taxpayers $56 million a year.
Wonderful. We just sent $40 billion to Argentina to support an unpopular government. Of course, that's really where we're focused on. Let's save the Treasury $56 million while we give away $40 billion to Argentina for no reason. Okay, let's make sense out of our government. Never mind. Ron, what else do we got?
Let's talk about how state government can contribute to screwing over its own lenders. So we're going to go to Tennessee, Brian, where they had back in 2020, I think, maybe 2025, they had passed laws in Tennessee making it easier for these payday loan companies to operate within the state. And so there is a company operating in the state of Tennessee. It is, let me find the name of this damn company. It is Advance. The company is called Advance Financial.
All right, they already sound suspicious.
So what would you think is a reasonable annual interest rate for a payday loan?
Ooh, payday loans are going to be significantly higher. I'm going to say a payday loan, probably 19%.
All right.
I think they're going to want to stay below 20 because that would seem outrageous. I'm going to say it's probably a little bit lower than what a credit card would, because in a credit card, you're just putting it out there in the belief that you're going to get paid back at the end of the month. Whereas a payday loan, there's an actual paycheck that you're just simply fronting for a short period of time. I'm going to say 19%.
All right, Brian, you ignorant slut. They charge the equivalent of a 279.5% annual interest rate.
Is that because there are so few paychecks in Tennessee?
I'm not quite sure why, but Advance Financial created this thing called a flex loan, which in 2015 the Tennessee state legislature allowed. So normally you would have a cap of $425 for these payday loans. This law in Tennessee moved that cap to $4,000. So you're able to loan people almost 10 times more money. And back when lenders could only lend $425, the borrower could never be required to pay back more than $500. Well, now you have a situation where people are having to pay back thousands of dollars more. They tell stories of a woman that took out a loan for $2,050. She ends up getting sued because she's not able to pay it off. She'll end up paying back Advance over $12,500 for a $2,000 loan. Across Tennessee, Advance Financial has sued over 110,000 people in 2015, since 2015, and in Appalachian County, where this woman ended up paying back 12 grand. They have 66,000 residents, where nearly half the households make less than $50,000. The company has filed one case per every 32 residents over that time since 2015.
Jesus. All right. Well, I mean, if you cannot sit there and hear this story and say that this capitalist system is broken, I to me this is just such an advertisement that there
Yeah.
are problems.
Perfect comment from Johanna. Money grab. Clearly a money
Sure.
grab from these payday loan companies.
Correct. Absolutely, just disgusting. Utterly disgusting.
Listen, if our listeners out there want their own money grab, you know how they do that? With our locks of the week.
Locks.
Brian, we say mean things to each other every now and then. We tease, we poke fun. But I got to say, kudos to you once again for another 2-0 week. You looked at some underdogs. You looked at
Yep.
Tennessee. They were getting 7 points. You're like, I don't think Tennessee can win, but they're going to keep it close. Sure enough, Houston wins 16-13. You cover there. And then you looked at Minnesota -3 against Chicago. You said, don't sleep on Caleb Williams. You said, let's take the Bears plus the points. Turns out you didn't need any of them. Bears win 19-17, bringing your record to 22-0 for the season. How the hell do you do it, my friend?
Listen, listen, as somebody who's also 22-0, I think you can understand the looking at these things, and the winning team just jumps off the page. Take your picks last week, for instance. You saw the Packers laying 6 over the Giants, and you said this is a trap. This is Vegas advertising to the people that, hey, we think the Giants are better than they actually are. We don't think the Packers are going to win by a touchdown. What did they do? Packers win by exactly a touchdown, 27-20. Ron, that was such an easy pick on your part. Almost as easy as the Jacksonville Jaguars. You said last week, only laying 1.5 points to the Chargers. That's a joke. Jaguars winning by 29 points, 35-6. Ron, I would ask you, how do you do it?
Listen, again, I take my inspiration from you in so many things that I do on a given day. And apart from being a champion, that I have to really rely on my own experience. But everything else, I really say, what would Brian do? So, Brian, what would you do? What are your picks for the upcoming weekend?
Week 12, the number gets higher and higher, and that means we are getting closer and closer to our championship debate. And then the ensuing Super Bowl wager for the championship belt, which I will be claiming this year. My picks for week 12, Ron: Patriots -5.5 over the Bengals. Chiefs lose a squeaker this week. They're coming back like gangbusters next week. Laying 3.5 over the Colts. Let's do it.
All right. And I like Jacksonville on the road -1.5 at Arizona, and Cleveland, tough loss today against Baltimore. I like them +2.5 at Las Vegas. As always, folks, bet with your head, not over it, but make that money.
Always make the
Next
money.
up, Brian,
Money for Vegas, by the way.
We've got a Baltimore police officer who was indicted after he was seen in a viral video chasing a person with a police cruiser in late October. Robert Parks is facing charges of second-degree attempted murder, first and second-degree assault, reckless driving, and misconduct in office. If he's found guilty of all charges, he could face a maximum prison sentence of 65 years. Apparently, this happened back on October 28th around 5 o'clock when he drove to a store outside Baltimore. He stopped near a group of individuals standing on a sidewalk, telling them, quote, "It's getting a little hot, guys. I just need you guys to take a lap," which I have no idea what that means. When the individuals started to leave, go ahead, give me your street talk.
No. That means get the fuck out of here.
when they started to leave, the indictment alleges that Parks got back into his patrol vehicle, drove a short distance, tried to get one of the people to come towards his cruiser, but that person walked away, and then returned to his vehicle and got on the radio saying, "I have one running adult male in the alley." After which this guy took off after them, and we happen to have that video right here.
Hey, yo, what the?
So you see him nearly run that kid down, and then chase after him. Guy is running, and he is literally chasing after him in an SUV. Like, I don't know how he missed hitting that kid right there.
It looked like he practically did. Jesus, that's scary. Listen, I'm going to say this once again. I think that the police provide an incredible service to society. There are bad apples in a systemic problem of the good apples covering for the bad apples. The very fact that this is a career where there are laws on the books that require you to carry a camera attached to your chest, just so this way we can prove that you're not lying, because you've lost credibility in society when you say something happened, speaks to a gigantic problem that the police have in this country. Another example is another example.
Yeah, let's not forget this is the same Baltimore Police Department that has been overseen by the Department of Justice for the last couple of years because of the instances of racism and police brutality. And what was interesting is, of course, the Fraternal Order of Police came out and said, "Oh, well, not the entire story wasn't told here. I mean, after all, this guy did have a misdemeanor warrant out."
Oh, a misdemeanor. So therefore it's okay.
Run him the fuck over, because
then he should definitely get a run over. Yeah, he should definitely get run over by a car simply because he has a misdemeanor arrest at some point. Yeah, unbelievable.
Without a doubt.
Just unbelievable.
Brian, I would like to quiz you real quick. See if you can answer this question for me. If I told you that there had been a shooting in a bar because of an argument over how many eggs a chicken can lay, what state would you think that took place in?
I'm going to say Alabama.
Really? You're not going to go with our old favorite, Florida?
Oh, why didn't I think that? It's a given. Of course. Yes. Okay.
Florida.
Florida.
So apparently, and I wish I had a screenshot of this. Hold on. You got to see. Let me see if I can get a quick screenshot, because I don't want to play the video. But this is fantastic, because you have to see the shot of the guy from the video. But so basically what happened is, it happened in Port St. Lucie early Tuesday morning outside of a pub. Police said
spring training home of the New York Mets. Home of the New York Mets, Port St. Lucie. I don't remember. Keep going.
So a 44-year-old man pulled out a gun and fired it at 3 individuals after this argument about the how many eggs a chicken can lay. Officers said the 3 victims knew each other, but had just met the accused shooter that night. The accused shooter has been identified as Peter Riera. He was arrested and faces multiple charges, included aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Let's take a look at this screenshot from the video so you can get a look at Peter here real quick. And I think you'll be like, that looks like a guy who would shoot somebody over a chicken egg argument.
Sure. Oh my God.
You can't see everything because of the video, but he's got I can almost call it the Amish beard and hat. He's got bib overalls, but they only go to the knee.
So they're like culottes.
He's got some slide-ons.
Oh my God. I would never argue with this man. This man could say that. I would never argue with this man at a bar. Never. I would never argue.
I gotta move the banner so they can see the video. Fucking.
Oh, is Jojo also looking on the small?
Apparently,
it is this vertical broadcast. There's no way.
This vertical bullshit that StreamYard has done. This is even worse. Look how tiny we are in the bottom there. This is horrible. My apologies.
I would never even look at this. I would never even watch that way, people. This is terrible. By the way, we'll fix this next week. You put up with it for another 10 minutes. Then we will Oh, this is god awful.
The
God awful, I
vertical,
tell you.
the vertical shit's not happening ever again. Brian,
Yeah.
what else do we got to talk about this week?
What have you watched, Rod? Because I there's a couple things, and I want to see whether you've also watched them. What do you watch this week?
We watched episode 3 of Pluribus.
Yep.
Good. I mean, I don't think it moved the story
Not at
forward,
all. Not at
but
all.
So I'm hoping, like, the first 2 came out so hot out of the gate.
Gangbusters.
I'm hoping this week's episode is a little bit better.
Yep.
We watched The Beast in Me on Netflix with Matthew Reese and who's the woman from Homeland? I'm drawing a blank on the actress's name. Was in My
Homeland.
So-Called Life.
Amy, Sarah. Come on.
I knew it too. Somebody has to know who this actress is.
What was the show? My favorite kid. What was it?
My So-Called Life and Homeland.
Homeland was starring Claire Danes.
Claire Danes. There we go.
Not to be confused
okay.
with Claire. Hold up. Not to be confused with Claire Dames with an M. Ron, you told me she belonged on your Mount Rushmore.
She's up there. Wasn't a huge fan. I mean, it was a decent show. My issue, I think Claire Danes plays the same character regardless of what show she's on.
Sure, not a lot of reach.
And I've also been watching The Chair Company on HBO. It's the Tim Robinson dark comedy. I enjoy it. I would recommend you check it out.
You like Tim Robinson.
I do. I love Tim Robinson. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you watch?
I can't believe you and the lady didn't watch it. Being Eddie, the hour and a half documentary on Netflix on Eddie Murphy. Really very interesting. This is a guy who, for I would say probably the past 10, 15 years, I wouldn't really describe as reclusive outside of his work, but a lot of people, with the exception of his appearances on Saturday Night Live and being in movies and whatnot, a lot of people have sat there like, what's going on with Eddie Murphy? Where is he? Is he alive? What's he doing? And this is such a great insight. It is half a kind of a historical look at, his career and, what was going on in his mind during these different phases of his career, starting through the comedy clubs of New York, through Saturday Night Live, his jump to Hollywood, when he started hanging out with Rick, what's his face, Moranis, and he did Party All the Time. All the different, phases. But it also, what I think is also even more interesting is the intersperses where it kind of shows you what he's up to, what he has done. And it genuinely seems like this man has been I don't want to say necessarily as a Renaissance man, but he has gotten so involved in art in various different ways, different types of art. He got into play, he plays the guitar amazingly, plays the piano. Like, I don't want to say he could play with the Philharmonic or whatnot, but he played an amazing quality piano. I'm not, this isn't a spoiler anyway, but it seems like he has started a fascination of late with ventriloquism. So they showed him
a clip for that.
He goes out and it seems like on his own dime, for no reason, there is no practical financial gain to this, has custom made Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney, and Bill Cosby ventriloquist dolls, where he just sits there and pretends to talk for them. I literally just listening to Eddie Murphy. Keep in mind, he's not crazy. A lot of times there were years where people were like, oh, Eddie Murphy's gone crazy. He seems to be of just the same Eddie Murphy he always was. He's just not interested in being out there up front and being having the spotlight on him anymore. But I would literally watch a 6-part documentary of just him sitting in his living room with his ventriloquist dummies playing characters. It's just the snippet that I think has been passed around on social media. Just right off the bat says this would be a gold mine of material, because he still has that sharp comedic wit.
Right.
where he's literally having conversation. Highly recommend Being Eddie on Netflix. The lady finished up Vikings on Netflix, thank God. So we can move on as something to watch. So I believe I will start to have more things that I'm bringing to the show. I think I've been watching Vikings for about 6 months now. 6 seasons, 170 episodes. Just glad to have it over with.
Oh, also forgot, watched the first episode from the new season of Landman out on Paramount
That's
Plus.
out.
That is out.
Ooh, no spoilers.
John Hamm obviously off the show now, but they have brought in Andy Garcia and Sam Elliott to round out the cast.
Sure.
Just a powerhouse cast. Good first episode. I think it picks up, right where season 1 left off. Just really well written, really well acted. So would still recommend you catch that if you're not already.
Oh, I will be. I'll probably watch it after dark.
Sounds good. Brian, let's go back in time a little bit. January 19th, 2021 to be exact. Eli Weinstein had served 8 years of a 24-year federal sentence for a $230 million fraud that included a real estate Ponzi scheme and for additional crimes that he committed while on pre-trial release. Hours from the finish of his first term, Trump commuted Eli's sentence. Brian, of course, with this second chance on life, do you think Eli went on to live a honest life?
I guarantee you. Listen, when somebody faces their their potential life sentence, they decide, listen, if I ever get out of here, I'm going to walk the straight and narrow.
Well, unfortunately, Eli did not follow that because he is now facing a 50-year sentence for defrauding more than 150 investors out of $41 million in a scheme involving COVID supplies to Israel, first aid kits to Ukraine, and baby formula. So at least it's coming down. First Ponzi scheme, $230 million. Second Ponzi scheme, only $41 million. So he at least did not make the fraud that widespread.
Piece of shit. There's just so many pieces of shit. I hate to say it, but it's true. Ugh,
I mean, I'm sure somebody has done the legwork. Like, there is such a high percentage of people that Trump pardoned from January 6th and everything else that have just gone back and committed more crimes afterwards.
Sure, of course.
Because if you commit a crime and you, in essence, have no repercussions from it, I think you're just inclined to just say, hey, especially if Trump's back in office, I'll just get another pardon. Especially since Trump admits he doesn't even know who he's pardoning.
A small formality there.
Right. I mean, he used to make fun of for Joe Biden with his auto pen, but it seems like he's been doing the same thing with his pardons there.
I've read there's an article on Drudge Report today that they believe that Trump is using an auto pen, that a lot of the signatures on his pardons are too similar.
Oh yeah,
that even
I'm
if
sure
somebody uses, so they're saying he's using an auto pen.
Because when you're pardoning like hundreds of people at a time, you're not going to sit there at a desk, and just sit there for a couple hours just signing your name.
Of course. But let's trash Biden for doing it. Fuck. It's a shame.
Next up, an elderly former Ohio State University professor allegedly murdered his wife and then tried to kill himself and his dog after a woman he met on a dating app threatened to release nude photos of him in a $15,000 sextortion sting, according to police. Here is a mugshot of James Hill, age 76. He told cops he felt he had no way out after the unidentified woman threatened to release the embarrassing pics unless he paid her $15,000 in Apple gift cards. He then stabbed his wife, Mary Kathleen Hill, age 64, in the chest with a kitchen knife on Sunday. He then apologized to her and held her as she took her last breath. He then also tried to stab his dog. Thankfully, the dog ran away. He then deleted the photos from his computer and plunged a knife into his own chest in a doomed attempt to take his own life. Hill is a
Jesus.
retired music professor and was involved in an upcoming performance.
Gosh, that seems drastic.
Just a bit. He was charged with premeditated aggravated murder and is scheduled to be arraigned this upcoming Wednesday. Brian, if someone was trying to extort you for money because they had new photos of you, how would you handle that?
I would publish them myself.
I'm like, all right, you're going to put new photos out there. I love money more than my own modesty, I think is what it comes down to.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to share them. Anybody wants to see them, just let me know. I can almost guarantee you don't want to see them.
You've been trying to give them away for years now, and people just keep sending them back.
I send them to you every now and then, and you seem disappointed.
Like anytime a Nigerian area code pops up on your phone, you automatically just respond back with your nudes.
Of course. I hope that makes and I hope that just makes everybody happy.
Let's see what else do we want to get to. Let's get to the OJ story, because the OJ story, he's dead, but we're still getting stories about OJ. Finally, it looks like Ron Goldman's family will be getting a payout from that civil case that OJ lost, the wrongful death case. So the OJ Simpson estate has signed off on $58 million to be paid to Fred Goldman and his family. That took a long time. Like, that just shows you how fucked up the legal system is you can win a case and still not get justice. So Fred Goldman initially submitted a claim of around $117 million, which represented the original $33 million judgment from the 1995 civil lawsuit, plus interest. They offered him half. He took it, I guess just looking to put this to bed finally. But 30 years. I think Fred Goldman would have
hold on, Ron. I'm going to
justice
say this.
for his
I'm just
son
going to say
versus
this.
the money.
I'm a white man in my 50s. At this point, what I have to offer my lady, it's about half. So she begrudgingly accepts. It's about half of what it used to be. I'm still offering it to her. She grudgingly takes it. She's accepting of it.
Fair enough. But like, what I don't get is all the years that OJ was able to get away with not paying any portion of this civil judgment against him, and then he ends up with an estate that has the ability to pay out $58 million.
Well, listen, it's all the royalties from those Naked Gun movies. He really, really was able to roll it in. And where does he have $58 million?
Still, Brian, will the real killer ever be brought to justice?
I'm really surprised the cops weren't able to find the real killers, after wrongfully trying to pin it on OJ. I'm surprised they were not able to figure out exactly who did it.
And let's try and get one more story in, Brian. A ferry company has apologized after children were left screaming when a pornographic film was played on one of its ships from France to Sussex. The company's called DFDS. They said it was very sorry over the incident, which happened on board the ferry from Dieppe in France over to New Haven. It said an adult film was mistakenly broadcast on the lounge television to passengers who had been watching Formula One Grand Prix, causing children on board to be exposed to what one passenger described as hardcore porn. I just want to know what channel is out there that'll go from Formula One racing right into hardcore porn. I need to know what that channel is.
Have you looked at my Chrome history?
At your FYP? Chrome history? If you look at your TikTok thread,
there's a reason why my algorithm provides me that kind of stuff.
DFDS said the crew was not aware that the film was due to be broadcast, adding, once the crew were alerted to the content, the channel was swiftly changed.
Well, that's very nice of them.
it blows my mind. Yeah, we got Formula One up next. I don't know what offensive porn movie name would you throw out there, Brian?
I'm not even going to take that. Nope.
Well, if this was After Dark, we might get into some of that saucier talk, because that is what we save for the After Dark. It is for our Patreon subscribers. If you are not a Patreon subscriber, go to cultofronandbrian.com, click in the upper right-hand corner so that you can become a patron. $5 a month gets you the audio the day after of the After Dark, but $10 more get you live access to the After Dark. We're going to fix the After Dark link. We're not going to have any of this bullshit vertical problems that we're having right now. So if you sign up right now, we can get you the link in time for the show at 9:30. Brian, dare I say it, it's been another outstanding episode.
As always.
I just clicked on to look at the vertical again. I'm just furious again looking at this vertical bullshit that they set up.
Listen, once again, we try to be good people. We try to sit there and offer a quality product. As champion, and I'm not trying to, already start to campaign. As champion, I'm going to dump Matt. We deserve a better producer, somebody who has more control over what's going on than this embarrassing vertical feed that we are putting out right now for mobile users. This is embarrassing. This, our people deserve better. The very fact that, Ron is champion, you didn't say timeout, pause. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Matt's going to figure out how to take away this vertical recording. We're going to give everybody the horizontal recording they've come to love and trust and whatnot.
The beauty of this title belt over my shoulder. Vertical, can't even tell. Can't even
see it.
Barely see your head.
I don't even see those luscious shoulders of yours. High point of my week. That's why I like watching this.
Let's wrap this up. We'll fix the link for After Dark, and we'll fix all this for next week. StreamYard was on a roll. They had some very nice updates that they did. I'm going to go on a limb and say this one's a miss.
Yeah, it should be. You should have some kind of control as to which feed you put out there. Like, this is going to be good for the vertical will be good for use on TikTok. We can do some, clips and put up whatnot. I get it. Would it be better if instead of vertical, they put the 2 horizontals running, top? But listen.
We'll
dump her on. We deserve better.
All right. Well, thank you, folks, for joining us. Brian, anything additional before we wrap up this episode?
Nope. All good. All good here.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Patreon folks, we'll see you in a little bit. Everybody else, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of The Cult of Ron and Brian. A non-tax deductible contribution can be made by subscribing to our Patreon. Visit cultofronandbrian.com and click on Become a Patron. We'll see you again next week.